There are many destinations that say they have the best beaches, but only some can say it's official. St. George Island off the Gulf Coast of Florida has been enjoying that designation of best beach in the U.S. since the venerable Dr. Beach declared it so in June of 2023. Since then, the island has been welcoming visitors to enjoy what they've known for years, that St. George is a great place to go for a beach vacation. After checking it out personally, I can see what the appeal was for Dr. Beach. Here, I'll share ways that RealFoodTraveler.com readers and the Real Food Traveler podcast listeners can enjoy and make the most of their time while on the island. I also provide a few editor's tips. When you go to our website, realfoodtraveler.com, you'll also be able to see a YouTube video we put together to see St. George Island in action. Here's our editor's pick guide to St. George Island for the best beach days. Some quick facts to get started. St. George Island is located a short drive from both Tallahassee and Panama City, situated along Florida's Panhandle. From the mainland, access the island by crossing the 4-mile Bryant-Patten Bridge. The island is so narrow, just 28 miles long and no wider than 1 mile at any point, that you can take in the sunrise on one side and sunset on the other. On the south side, it's bordered by the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, and on the north by the Apalachicola Bay, try saying that 10 times fast, which is considered to be one of the most productive commercial and sport fisheries in the state. The waters are clean and pristine, which means the fish and seafood coming out of it are just better tasting, including oysters, grouper, snapper, and shrimp. There are no high-rise buildings on St. George unless you want to count the historic lighthouse. St. George Island Park is currently working towards designation as an international dark sky park. And in 2023, Dr. Stephen P. Leatherman, aka Dr. Beach, named St. George Island State Park his #1 pick for the best beach in the U.S. for the year. Dr. Beach has reviewed and rated beaches throughout the world for more than 30 years. In other words, he knows of what he speaks when it comes to beaches. Here's where you can stay on St. George Island. There are a variety of lodging options available on the island, and many are through Collins Vacation Rentals, who are our hosts for this trip. It's a company owned by Ms. Alice Collins, who, along with her team, celebrated the 50th anniversary of the company in 2023. With nearly 300 rental properties available from one end of the island to the other, there are plenty of options. Our group had the opportunity to stay in multi-story beach houses, which would be ideal for a single family or several families, friends, or groups of any kind. Depending on the size of the houses, there are multiple bedrooms and bathrooms and large living room, dining, kitchen spaces, which means you can have as much together time as you want, but still enough places to steal off for some solitude. Several properties have swimming pools and outdoor cooking and dining areas, and many are on or very near the beach. What a treat it was for me to see people fishing, swimming, strolling the beach, and taking pictures of the shorebirds and views. I'm sure you'd enjoy that too when you go. It's so incredibly peaceful and beautiful with all the comforts of home and then some. I also enjoyed the names of the properties they had, perfect for St. George Island, including Heaven by the Sea, Beachfront Benefits, Isle of Palms, and my favorite, the Chill Inn. Here's an editor's tip. Rent a bike or golf cart from Island Adventures and enjoy tooling around the neighborhood, seeing the variety of architecture, colors, and landscaping. Here are some highlights from our lists of where to eat and drink. Harry A's Bar and Grill has a colorful exterior that really lured us in. There, while enjoying some of the year-round live music they offer, we gobbled up their famous smoked tuna dip, their delicious wings that come with a whole bunch of different sauces to try, and their smash burgers. Patty's Raw Bar sells local farm-raised oysters and locally caught seafood, except for their Alaskan crab legs. There was a former oysterman shucking oysters for us the night we were there. He shucks those oysters like the pro he is, super fast. He said that every bag of oysters tells you where it comes from, even down to what time they were harvested, so you know they're fresh. We were told the place is hopping in the summer, and that people, when they can't get a seat inside, they order food to go and join a line of cars sitting in the parking lot. It's a very fun communal thing. The Beach Pit has been combining Texas-style barbecue, they smoke their own meats right there on site, with fresh seafood for more than 25 years. Favorite items among the locals are the pulled pork, smoked turkey breast, whole flounder served blackened, fried shrimp, southern potato salad, which means it has mayo and mustard, and their homemade bourbon pecan pie. You can dine inside or out on their screened-in, dog-friendly porch. Editor's tip: be sure to have smoked fish dip while you're in St. George. A variety of restaurants serve it their own way and with different seafoods, but it's one of those authentic, local, popular dishes there that we always encourage our readers and listeners to enjoy when you're visiting somewhere. Things to do on St. George Island. One of the highlights for me was taking a boat tour through one of two different companies that take people out for sightseeing, fishing, sunset, and seashells seeking trips. St. George Island Charters is run by Captain Krista Miller, and Bayview Charters of SGI, that's St. George Island, is run by Captain Wes McCall. Both took our group to Little St. George Island, which has plentiful and unique seashells and loads of pelicans, but no bathrooms. There are no buildings there. It's just beach, ocean, shells, some trees, rocks, and a little bit of shipwreckage. It's just a very natural place. An editor's tip for there: bring along with you a plastic empty food storage container that you can put your shells in that you collect. That way they won't get crushed in your suitcase. I learned that the hard way. Another great place to go is St. George Island Lighthouse and Museum, which provides the most famous landmark on the island. The lighthouse has had a tumultuous history. Originally built in 1833, it was rebuilt in 1848 after being relocated. Then it was damaged in a storm in 1852. It was listing in 2005 and fell in a storm. The replica standing today opened in 2008 and is next to a replica of the Lighthouse Keeper's Cottage, which was built in 2011. That building is a gift shop and museum, and it presents stories of the light keepers and their families to really bring that to life for you. Plus, there are real items they used and the story of many of the lives/versions that the lighthouse has gone through. Editor's tip: even if your knees can't handle the 92 wooden steps and 8-rung ladder climb like mine couldn't, which gets you to the top of the lighthouse in the lantern room, you can still get some great photos from the ground up of the lighthouse and to everybody waving to you. You'll see some of those photos on our website. Where to have some of the best beach days on St. George Island. Dr. Julian G. Bruce St. George Island State Park is about 2 hours from anywhere, so it's less visited. The ecosystem is biodiverse, and its transitions from grasslands to sandy beaches are dramatic. There are dark skies because it's so undeveloped and far from the metropolitan areas. You can even see the Milky Way. By day, there's great bird watching because it's a great flyway for birds and butterflies. There are nesting shorebirds and sea turtles. Recreation-wise, you can have beach time, fishing, kayaking, canoeing, shelling, stand-up paddleboarding, and hike nature trails. You can see a snippet of the birdwatching scene in the video that we have linked to on our article on realfoodtraveler.com. So a little bit about Dr. Beach. He comes in unannounced and looks at a variety of critical criteria, including distance to metro areas, how clean the water and the beach are, and what the sand is comprised of, plus how eco-friendly and family-friendly the area is too. St. George had been in the top 10 for many years, but for 2023 to 2024, that was the first time that they were named number 1. You can get to know the loggerhead sea turtles when you're in St. George Island, but from a distance. Loggerheads and green turtles are some of the most important residents of St. George Island for the time they are there. Females return to their hatching grounds to nest on the beach and lay 80 to 150 eggs in each nest between May and November of every year. we got to meet Kimberly Alexis, aka the Turtle Lady, who, along with her team of fellow St. George Island turtle volunteers, divide up the beach into 10 or so mile-and-a-half sections and walk them every morning at dawn looking for new nests, which are clearly marked with a Do Not Disturb sign. Volunteers check them for signs of disturbance and for hatchlings, and they do this faithfully every day until the last baby turtle has made it into the water. Visitors can help with the conservation efforts by being aware of nests when you're walking on the beach and shoreline. Sea turtles need dark, quiet beaches to nest successfully. Each house, whether it's privately owned or a rental, has special outdoor lights to prevent the turtles from getting disoriented, since they normally look for light on the horizon to know which way to go back into the ocean. Editor's tip: if you're traveling with kids and happen to see Kimberly or one of the volunteers, it is okay to ask them questions. When kids see Kimberly, whom again they know as the Turtle Lady, they often walk with her while she's on her patrols, learning more about the turtles and the ecosystem and conservation. St. George Island, Florida is a treasure where it's easy to live like a local and enjoy all the reasons the residents are so loyal to the place. For those who live there year-round, it's a tight-knit, supportive community. And for many Floridians, it's where they've gone to vacation for years and years. And for the rest of us, it's a little slice of beach heaven. For more information about visiting St. George Island, you can visit collinsvacationrentals.com. They're a wealth of information to get you started, as well as to arrange for your rental place to stay. Please be sure to visit our website, realfoodtraveler.com, where you'll see this article in full. This was only a small portion of the article. We give all of our recommendations and all of our editors' tips and show you photos as well as video and live links to everything that we refer to. So check that out at realfoodtraveler.com. And for other podcasts in our series, you can hit up the Real Food Traveler podcast, available on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, and a variety of other places that you enjoy listening to your podcasts.